Dip my
What's up guys, thanks for tuning in on today's car review. I'm your host Gabe, and today we're going to be taking a look at the all-new 2022 Tesla Model Y Performance. It is the first time that I review an all-electric performance crossover SUV. In today's video, we're going to go over some of the Tesla Model Y Performance's performance characteristics, as well as interior and exterior characteristics. We're also going to go over some comparisons between the other option, which is the Model Y long range. And then to top it all off, we're going to go for a drive and test the overall driving and ride quality of the Tesla Model Y Performance. At first glance, for this particular vehicle, you'll actually notice this really nice, solid, sleek black color. That's a $1,500 option. And this is actually one of the 5 different color combos that you can add to the Tesla Model Y Performance and long range as well. The factory paint is complemented perfectly with these 21-inch Uber turbine satin black wheels that really give the car such a very mysterious yet very elegant and sporty look. Black on black is always a color combination that you really can't go wrong with, and I do like how these Uber turbine wheels are default for the Model Y Performance. Now, if you want to switch them out to the other ones, which are 19 and 20-inch rims, you can definitely do that as well. Now, another key difference between the Performance and the long range model is going to be these red finish calipers, which I believe are Brembos, that are nicely tucked away behind these 21-inch wheels. It looks really good, especially with the black on black color combo, adding the hint of red. Now, of course, red can also go with the different other color options, but for black on black, it looks really menacing and really sporty as well. In reality, it's really identical looking to the Model 3 Performance. In fact, I would go as far as to say that this is actually kind of like a plus-size Model 3 Performance. The overall exterior look of the Model Y Performance is rather minimalistic. You can really notice that in the front fascia of the car, where there isn't a massive grille or really a complex pattern with the grille, but rather a plain vanilla grille with a bulgy front that has a rather peculiar concave facial look. I'm not really too sure as to why they did that. You know, whatever, I'm not an engineer, so I guess there is a reason for everything. The headlights are very sleek and they go perfectly with the overall design of the front of the car. If we make our way towards the rear of the car, you'll actually notice that just like the front of the car, there is so many characteristics from the Model 3. I mean, it's strikingly identical. The first one is very obvious with the taillights. I think the taillight design for the Model 3 and of course for the Model Y is very nice. Exclusive to the Model Y Performance, you get this dry carbon fiber lip spoiler that of course has its performance reasons, but it really just adds a tad bit more sportiness and exterior look of the car. Now, when it comes to the interior design and characteristics, it's almost like the exterior characteristics in the sense of minimalism, simplicity, and kind of like a modern home in a way. The real key components for the driver and passenger experience is really just the steering wheel and this 15-inch screen that controls virtually every single aspect of this car. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the simplicity. I do like a little bit of, curves, and especially the speedometer and tachometer in a traditional car, or performance car rather. This particular car is spec'd out with the $1,000 black and white interior color combination, which I actually really like a lot. That's one of the things that I actually prefer over the standard black color combination. It looks really nice, and you can combine this perfectly with the other exterior color options that there is. Now, I guess in terms of interior design and kind of like features and looks, there's really not much to talk about with the Model Y Performance. A center cubby here that's pretty spacious. I don't know the exact dimensions, but you can fit your phone, your traditional amount of space. Right in front of it, you have the cup holders and another storage area here that is, again, more space to put X amount of paperwork and documents. Whatever miscellaneous items can go in here, and right in front of that you'll have a charging port for your phones. So now let's talk a little bit about comfort. I didn't really want to talk too much about the front seats here for the driver and the passenger because there's plenty of spacing options, and unless you're like 7'2", you'll do very well with space. Now, back here as a passenger, I'm about 6'2", and I really didn't make any sort of adjustments to the person that was driving. And as you can see, there's about an inch or 2 inches of space here. The headroom is absolutely perfect. Since we're talking about the headroom and the roof, we can actually look up and we can see that it is a completely panoramic roof, which is obviously great on a beautiful day like this to observe. But in terms of spacing, you'll have plenty of space. Again, you can always compromise with the driver and the co-pilot seats. Unfortunately, for the Model Y Performance, you don't actually have the 7-seat option available. That is only for the long range. Since we're on the topic of the space and the comfort and the practicality of the Model Y Performance, I want to make a comment about the trunk space, which is huge in itself. But the only problem, and the crossovers tend to have this issue, is because of the roofing and the design of the finish. You're always going to have like this little section right here that is going to be inhibiting from any sort of like tall or perhaps wider types of items that are going to be going back here. In terms of space, it's, you know, sufficient. I mean, you could definitely fit me in there for sure. Maybe even 3 of me's. And of course, like all Tesla cars, there's also going to be a frunk. It's a good place to put some groceries and some other miscellaneous things like backpacks. Let's talk a little bit about the practicality and the abundance of features that there are with this car. Now, I'll be very frank, we could be here for hours talking about the different technicalities, a deep dive into the lore of the different characteristics and the options that come with the Tesla Model Y, or a Tesla in general. Obviously, this is touchscreen. You have, of course, the option to open the trunk, well, the frunk, and the trunk as well. You also have something really cool that's called Tesla Streaming, which is basically a feature, a paid feature, where you have access to Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Twitch, TikTok. I mean, the list goes on and on. And this is obviously all accessible when you're parked. You can't do this while you're driving because the amount of accidents that would be occurring is beyond comprehension. You also have an arcade where you can play different types of games. Then you can actually access a lot of the car features. When you're looking to travel, the navigation, the map would be here on the screen. Again, this is where you will be controlling the other features that you would normally have. All right, guys, so now that we've talked a little bit about the exterior and interior characteristics of the Model Y Performance, now it's time to get on the road and see how this car drives. And what better way to start off the driving portion of this review than with a 0 to 60 miles per hour test. This is advertised as 3.5 seconds 0 to 60, which is about a second faster than the long range. Okay guys, so we're at a complete stop. We're about to go. 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah, that moves. Oh gosh. I mean, just like the Model 3 Performance and any other Tesla car, the 0 to 60, the initial launch is instantaneous and never disappoints. You do feel the weight of this car. It's about 4,500 pounds, 300 pounds heavier than the Model 3 Performance, but you definitely can feel the weight of this car compared to the Model 3 Performance, which again, both of them launch insanely. Let's go ahead and do a little roll here. Oh. Wow. Oh yeah, we're flying. That's insane. Yeah, get a little turn here. Let's see how it handles. Ooh. Wow. So I was actually slowing down a little bit because I wasn't expecting this car to grip so well. But when I took the turn, I was surprised to see just how well it grips. The Model Y Performance is slightly lowered because of the suspension tweaking, because this is a performance model. Obviously, there's a lot more body roll because of the size of this car, but you know, it's not that bad. Got another turn here. Let's go ahead and give it some pedal to the metal. Whoa! Yeah! Dude, this thing just runs. This thing can definitely carry its weight. Now, in terms of mileage, the Tesla Model Y Performance comes with an estimated 303 miles per charge, or that's as much that it can go on a fully charged battery. The long range does about 318, so it's really about a 15-mile difference. I I'd rather get the performance, to be honest. I mean, the main selling point for me in the long range would probably be for the 7-seater option. That's pretty much it if I had a big family. But in terms of power, they both come with dual motors. They're both insanely quick. Obviously, the performance Y is a lot quicker off the line. You know, once you hit 75 miles per hour on the Model 3 Performance, you would really immediately feel the power and the curve start to like go down. Whereas this one, it kind of just feels very consistent. You know, there's no immediate drop off in power or torque. The feeling is just continuous, and it obviously is not as powerful as the initial launch, but it does it really well. I'm not sure if that's because of weight distribution or something like that. Somebody a lot smarter than me is going to be able to answer that question, but that's something that I want to make an observation and a comment on. Oh my gosh, that is fun. Okay, so let's tone it down here just a little bit. We've been going over some imperfections on the road, and I will say that it is quite stiff. Honestly, I'm not too sure if there's many suspension options and features on this car. I'm sure that there probably is, but going over some imperfections on the road, you do feel a lot of responsiveness from the road. If you want something a little bit smoother, you could probably opt out for the smaller size wheels, since I know that having bigger size wheels can somewhat affect the drive quality of the car. But let's take this turn a little bit aggressively this time. Ooh, yeah, man, that holds on. This handles surprisingly well, guys. Again, I don't take these turns very confidently, just because I'm not a pro or anything like that. And again, this isn't really my car, and we're in an SUV, a crossover SUV, and this does give you that reassurance and that confidence. Something that I wanted to make a mention of is the quality, the build quality of this car. But something that the Tesla Model 3 Performance had compared to this was the fact that the passenger side window was kind of like, I guess, built incorrectly or installed incorrectly. So at higher speeds, you would literally hear like the noise from the outside, and it would be really obnoxious, especially that it's a $57,000+ car. This is completely quiet. The quality, you just don't get the same treatment as the Model 3. I don't know if they've actually enhanced it for 2022, but this 2022 Model Y Performance, it really is quiet. You get to really just hear the the sound of the acceleration, the little dog whistle of a sound. And of course, like all Tesla models, you do have the feature where once you let go of the accelerator, it'll automatically brake, which I do believe it helps with the battery savings, but mostly with the brake savings as well. Ooh. Yeah, there we go, buddy. Oh, my phone just flew out. Hold on, buddy. This is a lot of fun to drive. I mean, in terms of like feeling, right? Of course, you lack the sound component, but it grips very nicely. So let's take a moment here from all the madness and just talk a little bit about some of the driving safety features of this car. One thing that's really surprising about the Model Y Performance, and I'm sure maybe the newer models come with it, but you actually have cameras on the side of the car that once you turn on your turning signals, it'll actually show you, with the camera, if there's any car there, because a lot of the times people have blind spots or they just fail to use the side view mirror, which is beyond my comprehension as to how people can forget to use that. But it's really cool, and the quality is actually not that bad. I wonder if you can actually make a short film with this camera quality. Another thing that is really cool about this car is that it also has autopilot as well. This particular car does not have the full complete full $12,000 plus option package for the autopilot. Let's go ahead and test out the autopilot feature that this car has. Again, it's just keeping it in lane. You double tap it and it'll obviously tell you to keep your hands on the steering wheel. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. It's actually also detecting that there's traffic. See, that is cool. I had no idea that it would also stop. that is cool. So something that we left out was the brakes, which I'd like to try right now. We're at 60 miles per hour. Gonna come to full stop. Not bad. Not bad, considering that this is a 4,500 pound vehicle, SUV. All right, guys, so we have now just come to a stop, and I think now would be the perfect time to go ahead and conclude this video. Like I said, the Model Y performance definitely met all of the expectations that I had and even exceeded them. What an amazing car to drive. And I'll be honest, even though we were making a bunch of accelerations and pulls, I only really took about 10% of the battery. Guys, if you found this video informative and entertaining, go ahead and give this video a like. It helps out a lot with the algorithm. If you guys enjoyed my content overall, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my other videos, my how-tos, my reviews, etc., etc. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.